Completing the square when a is equal to 1. What is a? What do I mean by a? Do y'all know?
Were we supposed to watch the video last night?
Uh-huh. What were you saying, Brennan? The x squared coefficient, yeah. The x squared coefficient. This number right here. So if it's invisible, it's a 1, right? There's always a number there, because if it was 0, it wouldn't be there. So it's a 1. So when a is 1, completing the square is pretty straightforward. The first thing I would do is move the constant, move the value without the x, onto the other side of the equal sign. So I have x squared plus 4x equals negative 1. All right? Now, what I want to do is get this right side to be a perfect square. Something that's a perfect square. So here's how this would work. If it was, you're going to copy the variable. You're going to copy the sign. So it's copy, copy. And then the next number, you're going to cut it. Copy, copy, cut. Cut it in half. So what's half of 4? 2. Okay, and this is what's getting squared, and it equals negative 1. Now, not done, because when I say this, when I say x plus 2 squared, I'm really saying this, aren't I? And so if I did this long ways, if I FOILed this out, I would end up with x squared plus 4x plus 4, right? If I look back here, I have x squared, I have 4x, but I don't have 4, do I? So by rewriting it in this way, I'm adding a 4 to the left side of the equation. But that's not fair, is it? I have to add that to the right side. So whatever I added here, I have to add on this side to keep it balanced. Does that make sense? Well, without having to do it all longhand, how do you know what it is you need to add? Well, it's going to be this value right here squared. So 2 squared is 4. It gave me 4. That's how I know what to add over here without having to do this every time. But I want you to understand the logic of it. Is that okay? After you do copy, copy, cut, and you get this, you know you got to add something over here. How do you know what that is? Take this number and square it. All right. Now we're just going to clean up what we know. Now we have x plus 2 squared equals 3. Now it looks like what we did yesterday when we extracted the square roots. Remember that? Where we take the square root of both sides. So now I've got x plus 2 equals the absolute value of the square root of 3, which just means plus or minus the square root of 3. The one last step I have to do is move the 2 over. So it becomes negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 3. Okay. Now I believe, I could be mistaken, I believe when you do the delta math, sometimes it'll say, what's the magic number when you're completing the square? Well, this is what they're calling the magic number. Okay. But if you look at their examples in there, it'll clarify it. But I think that's what they're calling magic number. Okay, is that all right? Do you need another example like that? I heard one, yes, yes, no, no, yes. I'll help you if you need more in a minute, okay? All right, let's look at what if a is not a nice pretty 1? What if it's a value like a 3? Okay? Here we go. You're going to start exactly the same. You're going to move the constant over. Constant's the piece without the variable. So I'm going to move it over here. Okay? So I move it. Now, here's the next step. I got to take out the greatest common factor out of what's left over here. What can I take out? Not x's. Don't take any x's. I'm talking numbers only. A 3, okay? So 3, and then I have x squared plus 2x equals negative 2. Is that okay? All right. So that 3 is just going to hang on for the ride for a minute. We're just going to bring it straight down. And now we're going to do the copy, copy, cut thing. So we're going to do copy the variable x. copy the sign, plus, what do you get when you cut 2 in half? 1 squared equals -2. Now, what is it I have to add then on the right to make it balanced? It'll be 1 squared, right? But here's what's different. It's 1 squared, but now I have to multiply that 1 squared by that 3. 1 squared is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So I'm going to add 3 over here. Okay?
Can you explain that again?
Yep. Okay. So what I have to add over here to balance is always going to be this number squared, right? Yeah? But what's different with this case is that there's a number out here. So that 1 squared is a 1, but I have to multiply it by what I took out to make it a 3. I didn't have that step before, so I don't have to worry about it. Now I do. All right? Now I have 3 times x plus 1 squared equals, what is this, +1. Now, can I just extract the square root from here? No, what do I have to do first? Good. I have to get rid of that 3 on the left first. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Now can I do this square root thing? Yes, it is isolated. We can do this. So let's square root it. Now when you square root a fraction, remember you square root the top and the bottom. Okay. So now I'm going to have x plus 1 equals plus or minus. What's the square root of 1? 1. Square root of 3 is a decimal, so we'll just leave it as square root of 3 for now. Okay? Typically, you would have to rationalize this, but that's really not what this lesson's about, so I'm not going to stress over this. You can't really leave radicals in the denominator. If you remember how to do it, do it. But if you don't, I don't want to confuse you. Now, am I finished? What do I still need to do? Move the 1 over. So then I'll have, I'm just going to come over here. X equals -1 plus or minus 1 over the square root of 3. And this is how I would leave my answer. 2 solutions because it's a quadratic. One is the solution with a plus sign. One is the solution with a negative sign. Yeah? We good? So you will see some of each. Not too many like this. You will see more like this. Okay? But you do need to know how to handle these number 2 types, just in case. All right, so as you're working today, don't stay stuck. Definitely don't stay stuck. Don't stare at my work and be like, what in the world did she just do? Ask, okay? Ask someone with you or ask me. All right, so there's completing the square. That's the third method. The first one was factoring. The second one was extracting the square root, right? Third, completing the square. Fourth, probably your favorite, quadratic formula. You remember quadratic formula? You don't? What is the quadratic formula? Do you remember? -b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? Some song. I don't know the song, but was it? I don't remember the song. You can YouTube it. There's a song. You got to know it. The formula is not going to be given to you. So in order to memorize it, I would highly recommend just write it every time you do it, and it'll get locked in pretty quick. All right, so be careful. It's always -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c to a. Now, what the heck are a, b, and c? Just random letters we just picked out.
Isn't a like the square root of b, x, and c?
Exactly. They're the coefficients. They are the coefficients that go with this equation. But I have to put this in what we call general form to get them. All right. General form says it looks like this. Big A, x squared. Big B is x plus c equals 0. This is general form. General form always says that A is positive. So you know how you can switch signs moving across the equal sign? So always keep that x squared term positive. So if I look at this stuff, I need to rearrange it into that form. So should I leave the x squared over here? Put it on the other side. Why do I need to put it on the other side?
Make it positive.
Make it positive. So if I'm going to move that one, I got to move everything over, don't I?
Yep.
Okay, so let's do that. That means I'm going to add x squared and I'm going to subtract 5x. So that leaves me with x squared minus 5x plus 7. So now I can see a is what?
Positive.
A is positive. What value is it? It's just a 1. Yeah. A is 1. B is? A is 1. B is negative 5. And C is 7. Now it's just plug in your equation. Okay? Plug in, and we got this. All right, so negative B. 5 was already negative, so I'm going to make it positive. Plus or minus B squared minus 4 times A, which was 1, times C, which was 7, all over 2A. What happens when you square a negative number? Becomes positive. Always, 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 right? So my next step is just to start cleaning this guy up. So if negative 5 squared gives me 25 minus 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28, all over 2. Okay. Keep going. What happens under the radical here? Yeah, I'm going to have negative 3 over 2, but I'm not going to leave my answer like that because I can take the I out, right? You don't leave the I, don't leave the negative in there. So it's going to be 5 plus or minus I square roots of 3 over 2. And this is my solution. Yeah? Is that all right? Do y'all remember this from Algebra 2? Good old quadratic formula? It's just a lot of work. It's just a little tedious work. It's not hard. It's just tedious. Got to know your formula, though. All right?